I do apologise because there is a washing machine running in the background. I completely forgot about it, and that will be in. Yeah, it's definitely in the video. I just decided to go quiet for a bit to check that bar. So I do apologise for that. I hope it's not too distracting. And just remember that this is just a bit of fun. It's literally just a theory. There's nothing to confirm that as being how it's going to be. But other than that, yeah, just enjoy the video. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Alright, hello everybody. I'm just making a video because I realised upon looking at the Nintendo's E3 Direct thing that there's something at the end that, I don't know, just sort of, it got my speculation hat going on. So, I'm sure you've seen it by now, seen people's reactions. Our little Muppet friend Arlo probably did one of the best reactions that shows how everyone else was feeling, even if they weren't as, I guess, audible out loud as opposed to how Arlo was, but I'm sure pretty much everyone was internally feeling something along those lines. Like, we expected it to an extent, like we weren't sure, but having that announcement was just amazing. Now, there's a few things that I've noticed when looking at it though. I'm not talking about like what the potential story could be or anything like that, but I mean, you already saw the title, so you know where I'm going with this. The Nintendo Switch is an excellent console, yes. It's amazing. It's currently it's actually still on. Whoops, sorry, I'll just stop it back in. Anyways, but it does have a few shortcomings. The battery life could be a bit better. The screen is 720p and it is prone to scratches. You need a screen protector just to use the damn dock it comes with. But, you know, that could be fixed with that rumoured Nintendo Switch Pro or new Nintendo Switch if they're going to like the route of the 2DS and 3DS. I think that's more likely, honestly. PlayStation has their Pro line, so doubt Nintendo will be following another Japanese console company's path. They like to do things their way, and well, honestly, I feel the new Nintendo Switch sounds more like a Nintendo product, rather if they went Nintendo Switch Pro. It just does not sound like them. Now, you may be wondering where I'm coming up with this idea. Like, it sounds pretty out of the blue. No one else is talking about it. But you see, yeah, it does sound out of the blue. Like, that's the thing. I do understand. But sort of think of it this way. Some people are like referring to it like Twilight Princess. But why Twilight Princess? Is that because it's like the last Zelda game that was really kind of darkish in terms of its themes, and well, that's the only thing that I can sort of see that could fit Twilight Princess out of all of the Zelda games that they could have picked as why it would be marked like that. Sorry, my English is sort of just went out the window there, but in reality, I think it's more like Majora's Mask but a Nintendo 64. Because you see, with the Nintendo 64, there was The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and then a little bit later, there was that see if we can get it out here. I don't have the game with me, but there was a fandangled game for this console here, the Nintendo 64, called Majora's Mask. Now, I'm sure everyone knows Majora's Mask. Ocarina of Time is said to be the better one, but Majora's Mask came out later, and it's personally my favourite. And with Majora's Mask, it was basically the same engine, but it had a few extra tweaks to it that made it its own game. And if you remember, it actually required this bad boy here, the expansion memory pack thing that upgrades the RAM essentially. No, not essentially, it did. It upgraded the RAM of the Nintendo 64. So, that's sort of my biggest point to it there, personally, is it looks pretty similar to Breath of the Wild in terms of its graphics and things, so it's possibly using the same engine, just a little bit tweaked like what happened with Majora's Mask. So, I reckon it's the perfect time for them to release this new Switch, possibly as like a bundle sort of thing. because Majora's Mask required the it required the memory expansion pack from memory. It's been too long since I sort of looked at it, but I'm pretty sure that was how it worked. You needed the expanded thing to be able to play Majora's Mask. So, wouldn't that kind of make sense, I don't know, in my mind, if they're following patterns in terms of the Zelda games, that this sequel that has no name as of yet, a lot of people just calling it Breath of the Wild 2, I mean, that will do for now. This sequel to Breath of the Wild, I feel like, personally, that it could actually make sense that that would be when they release their new Nintendo Switch Pro, or new Nintendo Switch, whatever they plan on calling it. It's just memory expansion. It was rumoured to have extra RAM and a slightly faster processor, along with a better battery life and screen. So I honestly think, personally, that it could be the perfect time for Nintendo to announce it and release it. Breath of the Wild was a day one release, I believe. Well, Breath of the Wild was a day one release game for the Nintendo Switch, so wouldn't it kind of make sense that this sequel could be the day one release for this new system from Nintendo, their upgraded Switch? I personally feel like it would be. It would be a logical move, and they could make bundles too, like a new Breath of the Wild bundle. Maybe comes with a Zelda themed Switch, like those amazing skins you can get. That'd be pretty cool, I reckon. Like a first party Nintendo Zelda themed Switch. Considering how well Breath of the Wild sold, it probably is still one of the best games for the Switch. I reckon that could sell really well, like a Zelda themed looking Switch console with the game. Like, I know I'd probably get it, because I was sort of thinking possibly they could do that with Sword and Shield, but you know, that game's coming out pretty soon, like sooner than I expected, in all honesty. But you know, but yeah, there's a few things that really do point towards that way for me personally, I believe. I mean, they have been known to break some rules and patterns and things. Like, there used to be a rule for Smash Brothers with which games would work, what franchises would end up on the game, like the character roster, and it sort of deviated a bit from that a little, but it still, to an extent, kept the original formula somewhat, I suppose. But I don't know, I just personally feel like it would be the best time for them to release this new console. The Nintendo 64 required extra memory for this game that was almost the same as Ocarina of Time, except for a few tweaks. And judging by the trailer, it kind of did look like the same engine that's used for Breath of the Wild, so why not have the extra RAM required to run it? Might seem a bit funny, but honestly, I think it's the right move. If you're going to be releasing a console to the masses that's even better than the Switch, what better time to do it than one of the most anticipated games for the Switch? Because Breath of the Wild sure as heck was the most anticipated game for the system, and to have the sequel come out, I'm sure it's just going to just sell quite well. But who knows? I could be way off the mark, I could be correct. I've never done any speculations before. I normally just don't try and think anything like that, because for me, I feel like there's expectations and things if you do that, and then if you don't really expect anything, then you're not going to be disappointed, because you're not really expecting anything. So, I don't know, it's just sort of my mindset. It's why I generally stay away from rumours and things, but I don't know, I'm kind of hyped. I'm sure you guys are too. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that it's actually viable to release a new console for the sequel? It's just, yeah. I don't know, personally for me there are quite a few things that do point towards that being a possibility. Just, you know, with how the Nintendo 64 had the memory expansion, how the Nintendo 3DS had, and the 2DS respectively, had their new line, which was a faster version of that console, and it was required for certain games. It's essentially the same as that expansion pack for the Nintendo 64, except it's a new console like what they did with 3DS and the 2DS. 3DS. So, if they do that, I won't even be upset. I'll just trade it in, my current console, to get the new one. What else? I know that's sort of the main points I've got. I started doing a light speculation, because I'm not normally one to speculate. I just thought I'd throw that that being a possibility out there, just because it just hasn't really been talked about, I don't think. Or if it has, it just hasn't been talked about enough. So if this can gain a bit of traction, it might, it might shine light to other people. I know this isn't really the greatest video, as I'm not really that great at it. If you look at any of my older videos, you can tell that I'm really... Jeez, how do I say this kindly? Well, I don't know, I'm just not great. I've never really done this before, not properly anyways, so it's not going to look great, you know. You just got to start from somewhere though, right? I feel like I'm essentially starting anew, but that's okay. It's going to be an adventure, and I'm just glad that I can actually be on it with you guys. I love having people be happy, and I just like to see where this possible sort of speculation video takes me. I'm not sure if it's going to get any views, 1 view, 5 views, 1,000 views. That's okay. It's just, if some people can see it and it can get spread around to certain people, and, you know, sort of get a network to show to other Nintendo fans, hey, this could actually be the time that this new console that's sort of being rumoured to happen could actually come out. I reckon that it could get people on a extra sort of hype train that's not too unrealistic, in my opinion. But, you know, that's just my theory. I haven't seen anything else that could actually point towards that at this current moment, just a few previous things that Nintendo has done in the past. So I'd like to see what you think, and if you think I'm off the money, or if you think it is still somewhat possible that I'm kind of correct, just leave it down in the comments below. Of course, share it with anyone else where you think, oh crap, this actually could be alright. This could be true. Anything along those lines. Be sure to like it if you think that's the case, or if you hope it's the case, anything like that. If not, then that's fine. I understand. And, well, I'm happy to sort of reply to comments and things, and also possibly make a follow-up video on what other people think, because, you know, you may have some other ideas that could be a bit better than mine, and then I could make a video following up on that. And yeah, I personally think it would be a good idea to just sort of see what other fans of Nintendo, or even like, not just fans of Nintendo, just people that are interested in general, just have thoughts-wise. Because, I don't know, I say I don't know a lot, but I don't know how this is going to go. Like, if they do it, I personally think it's a good move, but I don't know. Again, it's not just related to it being a release for this device and the game. Any comments regarding the new game and the console, I'll reply to and make videos of later, but I was just, yeah. Do you think it's silly? Like, the possibility of Breath of the Wild 2, or whatever it's going to be called, this new Legend of Zelda game, to have a simultaneous release with the new Nintendo Switch console upgrade? Or do you think it's just going to be one of those things that won't require it, but it could make the game run better? I don't know, just leave your thoughts and opinions down below. Be sure to share it with anyone else and sort of see what they think. And I'll catch you all next time, I suppose. Peace.